Hey guys, so I am currently headed back to the city. This is day, let's see, 4 of being in the hospital. We're looking to meet for sure day 5, possibly even day 6, as he is continued to be hooked up to the EEG. It is crazy, absolutely crazy, that he is on all of these meds and still having seizures. It really is. And there are not just the observed seizures with like the physical convulsions. They're ones that what they would call absent seizures. There's another word that the doctor uses for them, but I forgot. So last night I observed 4 while he's on the EEG, and whenever he has one, I hit the button so it marks it on the machine and all that stuff. Well, apparently he had 6 that were not to be observed. So all in all, he had 10 seizures while being on 75 of zonisamide, Klonopin 3 times a day. I mean, holy freaking crap. I don't understand it. I don't. Most people that you tell that to, they're like, oh my God, I'd be over in the corner drooling. I mean, I would be over in the corner drooling. I mean, I don't understand it, but that's just, his system is just having so many electrical problems. I'm not really good at explaining things. I can understand it in my mind, but to explain it to you, I'm not good at. So I'm just going to say electrical problems. And shorty now that there's just, it's just the medicine isn't working. So they added on a new med today, Bimpap. I believe that's the name of it. Might be butchering it. Don't judge me. It's one that I've never heard of, never encountered anything else since being a nurse or, average Joe, whatever. And they're going to start him on that. They gave him a loading dose of the IV and do that, I think, pretty sure 2 times a day. And possibly exchange that one out for the zonisamide. The doctor isn't fully convinced that the zonisamide at this point is going to be the drug of choice for him. Okay? So, that means bought us another 24 hours hooked up to the EEG, possibly even 72 hours, might even go on to Monday. At this point, we are physically exhausted from, sleeping in small increments, kind of like, with a newborn baby. Just little small increments, because he's sleeping during the day, at night. Like, his sleep schedule is so freaking jacked. I don't even know how we're gonna get this thing back on schedule. Holy cow. So just like having a newborn, just sleep when baby sleeps. And so we're physically exhausted, we're emotionally exhausted. Seeing him like this, and seeing how upset all the wires and everything make him, and just wanting so bad for him to be back home and playing and laughing and everything else. This morning I had a conversation with my husband, and I was just so upset whenever they told me that they were gonna increase his medicine some more, and I just started crying, and I'm just like, why? Like, how much more? How much more can his little system take? I just don't understand it. And then Jasper crawled up in my lap, and he put his head in my lap. And whenever he did, it reminded me of something we do at the house all the time that I absolutely love. And it just made me cry even more. What we'll do is we'll crawl around on the floor. Like, he will be crawling for whatever reason, I don't freaking know, just to be goofy. And so I'll crawl around on the floor with him, like on all fours. And whenever he does that, or whenever I do that, he will crawl like underneath my belly and like put his head, like I'll like kneel back and he'll put his head on my thighs and stuff. And then like, you know, I'll just like kind of cuddle over him like baby, like a mama bear or whatever. And I mean, he is just perfectly content with staying in that position for minutes and minutes and minutes, you know, just loving being surrounded by me, and I'm loving, you know, the embrace of it and just how cuddly he is, and knowing in my mind that this isn't going to last forever, that he's going to grow up, he's going to be like, you gross mom, and blah blah blah. So, you know, I just enjoy that so much. And so he crawled up and put his hand on my lap. I was just, you know, crisscross applesauce, and it just like made me think of that. And I couldn't control the tears. I could not, because I just wanted to rip everything off of him at that point and just be like, okay, bye, we're going to AMA. Like, I'm sick of this. Y'all ain't figuring it out. Like, we ain't got time to play those reindeer games. I'm going home with my kid. But my husband's like, stop. You have got to stop. We are here for a reason. We have got to get him fixed. You know this, I know this. If we don't get his seizures controlled, it could be, I mean, honestly, uncontrolled seizures can be fatal. I don't know, like, I think my perspective on seizures before all this happened was someone can seize and die. No, it doesn't happen like that, but it can. 1 in 1,000 people die from having uncontrolled seizures leading to what they call SUDEP, sudden unexpected death, something. I can't remember. And so there's that. And then others die for other reasons, you know, injuries acquired from seizures, you know, like the kind of people that have seizures and just like they fall over and stuff. I actually was reading a story about an adult woman who has those type of seizures where like she just like starts convulsing just while like standing up making coffee, and she has dislocated her shoulders multiple times from her falls, rib fractures, all these other things. And so those, you know, other people die from those type of injuries and all that stuff. So, you know, they can be quite fatal if they're uncontrolled. But if they're controlled, there's people out there that have gone years, 5 years, 10 years without having a seizure with the right type of medication. The only time they experience a seizure is whenever they miss a dose, or they're growing and they need to increase their dose. Those things right there. So, one thing that has been brought to my mind is I had a friend reach out to me, and she asked for Jasper's story so she could share it in her prayer group. While sharing his story to her, like typing it all up and stuff, I feel like I had like this epiphany. It was God like had reminded me to walk by faith and not by sight. To not stop leaning on my worldly understanding of these things. I mean, goodness, I bought a freaking book from Barnes & Noble about the brain because I didn't have any freaking epilepsy books. So I got this brain book that's probably for some college class out there to just educate myself. And I get this epiphany today from God, like, stop leaning on your own worldly understanding of all this stuff. Do you not know that I am God? Do you not know the things that I have done? And I'm suddenly so embarrassed and so upset with myself because of how I have struggled in my faith. And I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Like that's what I've been praying for, is just to hear him talk to me and to hear something. And I mean, I've gotten it today. I really have. You know, be still and know I am God. Do not fall upon your own understanding. Know that I am God. You know, these things he has said to us. Walk by faith and not by sight. And so I have definitely fallen short. I have fallen short in so many ways. My faith has struggled as I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to be the nurse that my child needs and keep my brain on straight for him, and trying to put my emotions aside. Like, that's my main priority right now. Like, I've had several people tell me how I'm a rock star, and honestly, just waiting for the breakdown, because it's coming, no doubt, because a dam can only hold up against so much. And I've had to make myself numb to do what I need to do to take care of my son, and that freaking sucks. I want to, you know, but I gotta be the person he needs me to be, and it sucks. And so there's so many things that I pray about. And I mean, I'm not just sitting here praying for myself. And my family and everything else. I'm praying for any other mother who has to suffer through these kind of things. Any other father, any other family member who has to see their child, their niece, their nephew in the hospital. You know, I got told that I've had family get really upset because it's just not fair. It's just not fair. He's so young and he's so adorable and all that stuff. And he is. He is young. He is adorable. He is my baby boy, and gosh darn, I love him. And it might not seem fair, but it's all in God's timing. I do believe he will be cured by a miracle one day. It might be years from now, but I've got to hold on to something. I've got to root my faith somewhere, because if not, I am going to absolutely break. If I were to just sit around and think about how unfair and upsetting this was, and I didn't have my faith, wow, it'd be a bad environment for everyone around. But I know God is good. He is always good. And I am so thankful for him. So that's my little message for the day update as I'm driving back up there, stopping at Sonic, about to get me the biggest cheeseburger you can imagine. Yep.